What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, February 8th, 2022. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, on this Widow Wednesday with the Rogue One at Gary Whitta. Hello, Mr. Whitta.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you? What are the Loodle numbers at today?
We were just funny. You should ask. We were just talking about it before we went live. I was talking to the boys in the back room here, and we did actually just pass a milestone. We just passed 2.5 million active users. The official number as of the update that I got like literally 5 minutes ago is 2,505,328. What is
And
that?
so
How does
what does
that
that mean?
work?
That's active users? You have 2
Active
million people playing?
users, yeah.
Wow.
That's not everyone that plays every day. We have about 350, anywhere between 350 and 400,000 people that play every day.
Wow.
But 2 million people that play whenever. 2.5 million.
What are you
Yeah.
gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
You're taking the world, but you're still the indie developer too. Now that the New York Times has bought up
I
the real
mean,
Wordle, you're the indie.
it's kind of like what happened with Animal Talking, where I just, started it as like a way to kind of goof off and hang out
You
with
just
friends during the
stumble into
pandemic.
success left and
And
right.
then, next thing you know, you got Sting playing, on your couch playing songs and Selena Gomez and what have you. I don't
You were
know,
trying
like
to
it's
buy a
it's
Costco hot dog and somehow ended up writing Rogue One. Nobody
it,
understands how it happened.
no, it's funny because all of these things just start off as goofs, but then they get to a point where they blow up to a degree where it almost starts to become a little bit uncomfortable because it's like, oh
Sure.
shit, like you have a responsibility now to all these people, and there's so many players, and we're hearing all this feedback, and want to make sure we don't, fuck it up because it's really visible or whatever. So I
Mhm.
don't know. Then suddenly it becomes I don't know. I have this like really good knack to like take simple things that are designed to bring me a little bit of joy and silliness, and all they end up doing is bringing me fucking anxiety and stress.
Well, and I don't mean that this isn't at all, meant to talk shit or anything like that. For Loodle, how much work goes into it on a daily basis? Is it not set it and forget it
I
in
mean,
terms of
so
like
so Adam, who works on it with me, I
never
talk
heard
to
of them?
him. I talk to him every day,
Okay, well, I'm so
several
sorry.
times a day about the word. We're always reshuffling the word list, like what's going to be the word tomorrow and the next day and the next day. We
Sure.
just had that conversation yesterday, which are really fun conversations to have because every other word is like filthy. Like I'm not going to say the
Don't even
words.
start saying them. Yeah.
Um, but then just talking about talking about the numbers, and there's a bunch of new features that we're adding. Adam's always kind of tweaking the back end of the game to add. We've got some interesting new features rolling out. We just added this thing called sheltered mode, where if you don't know a lot of lewd words, you can turn that on and you can try any dictionary word just to kind of like try and
Oh,
place letters. Because a lot of people are like, I don't even know enough like rude words. So
that's
we
why I
made it.
stopped playing. I was just like, I don't
Yeah.
know enough.
Well, you can turn on for those who have led sheltered lives, you can turn on sheltered mode, and you can
Sure.
you can type in any word to try and lock in some letters. But yeah, so it's turned into a bit of work. We actually just added someone to the team. We added a lexicographer, someone whose job is to do nothing but make sure that we have every possible dirty word
We're
in the database because
scouring the
we add them all the
archives. They're
time.
reading
It's interesting.
Sanskrit trying to
It's
figure out what dirty
interesting.
words are.
The dictionary has grown a lot. I think we started with we had like 50, 60 something words when we started. We have like more than triple. I think we have more than 200 words in the dictionary now. Because like every time someone says, "What the fuck? I tried this word and it doesn't accept it,"
You're like,
we go and add it. So the dictionary like literally there's new words added, like probably 10 or 12 new words added every day. So yeah, it's just a fun project. It's been a really I tweeted about this other day. It's been, even though as silly as it is game development, right? We're developing a
for
game that
sure.
people play every day, and it goes out to a lot of people. So seeing the feedback and trying to figure out what feedback is valid and what is just like stupid criticism, and me and Adam kind of bitching about, like, we look at like the tweets we get from people going, "Look at this dumb motherfucker," just like it really does give you an insight into game development in the sense of understanding what it's like to try and serve a large audience who they don't all think one thing. What one person thinks is a lewd word, the person doesn't disagree, and we're just at the thin end of the wedge. Like, again, scale that up to like working on Call of Duty or something where people are like, you know,
Oh yeah.
swatting you and giving you death threats because they don't like the crosshair on the new gun or something. It's like, who'd be a game developer, man? It's a fucking thankless task. I know that much.
Well, what I know, Gary, is that there's a Nintendo Direct tomorrow, and I
Ooh, yes.
know that Ding Dong XL is on the Nintendo Switch. So it makes me wonder
It
if maybe
is.
one of the 40 minutes of announcements we're getting tomorrow will in fact be Loodle coming to the Nintendo Switch. But I know you probably couldn't say anything if it was. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that we're getting an Apex Legends sequel. No, wait, no, we're not. Are we? No, we're not. And then are we ever getting Scalebound? No, they canceled that. But is it coming back? No, it's not, but it might be. We'll talk about all that and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show. Patreon.com/kindafunnygames. Of course, on patreon.com/kindafunnygames, you can write in to be part of the show. You can get the show ad free. You can be a Patreon producer, and you can get each and every episode, each and every weekday with the brand new post show we do at the end, all for you. If you want to do that, patreon.com/kindafunnygames. But if you have no bucks to toss our way, it's no big deal. You could be watching live as we record the show, just like Jesus, D for Dustin, and Whoa, where 69 all are. If you're watching live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames for absolutely free, even though you could sub, and we would love it if you did. Maybe use that Amazon Prime subscription you get for free. You have a special job. Go to kindafunny.com/you're-wrong and tell us what we screw up as we screw it up so we can set the record straight for everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, roosterteeth.com, and listening on podcast services around the globe each and every weekday. Housekeeping for you. There's a brand spanking new episode of PS I Love You XOXO up right now, and it's a banger, talking all about PlayStation's new 10 live service games that'll be coming out by 2026. You can go catch that on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, roosterteeth.com, podcast services around the globe. PS I Love You XOXO. Search for it wherever you get your podcasts and get excited for Spider-Man and get ready to hate SOCOM. Also, if that wasn't enough for you, today, guess what? Blessing's taking over Xbox's Twitch channel in celebration of Black History Month. He'll be playing some of his favorite games from Rare Replay. Tune in at noon Pacific on twitch.tv/Xbox to watch live. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Gordon McGuire, James Davis, a.k.a. at James Davis Makes, Pranksky, Manny, the Bagel Boy Sanchez, and Blackjack. Today, we're brought to you by ExpressVPN and Chime, but I'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. Seven items on the Roper Report. Thank you, Kevin. Number one, a Nintendo Direct is incoming. It's happening tomorrow. And you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen? No, don't Jesus take the wheel. Hey, Tim Geddes take the wheel. Tim, what's going on with this Nintendo Direct?
How you doing, Greg and Gary? It's been a while since I've been on a show with you fine gentlemen. Very excited to wake up this morning and see a Nintendo Direct announcement. And not just an announcement, coming tomorrow. There's not even much time to speculate. There's not even that much time to get hype and get ridiculously out of control with predictions.
Do they usually announce them with this little notice, Tim? Is this unusual to say a Direct is coming tomorrow?
I feel like in more recent times, it's been getting more and more common that it's been a last minute official confirmation announcement. There's usually like rumors and speculation of the Direct date. And then within a week of that starting up, which that started last week, we get the official announcement from Nintendo and then it's imminent and then it actually happens. But what's key to note here is this is the first major Nintendo Direct since last September. And they've been getting a little less frequent over the last couple of years because of the pandemic and just the whole situation of where Nintendo's at. But they usually have 3 big Directs a year. And they're not all equally big, but we normally get one in the beginning part of the year. We get that middle one during the E3 time. And then we get one around the September time frame to kind of like figure out the rest of the year and kind of like tease the spring releases as well. So there we are.
Awesome.
Yeah. So go for it, Greg.
I was going to
and also, as we were just discussing before the show, we don't have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning for this one. That was nice of them as well.
Exactly. The official tweet from Nintendo reads, tune in to 9. That's if you can decode that February. It's February 9th at 2 p.m. Pacific for a Nintendo Direct live stream featuring roughly 40 minutes of information, mainly focused on Nintendo Switch games launching in the first half of 2022. I dropped in a little bit of context from IGN.com where Joe Screbbles reported on it and said, this marks the first Nintendo Direct of the year and the first Direct focused on multiple games since last September, which saw the announcement of Kirby and the Forgotten Land, the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pass, and more. In October, we also got broadcast to announce Sora coming to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and then Animal Crossing New Horizons Direct showing off the DLC in last update. In December, we also got an Indie World broadcast. Timothy Geddes, you, of course, are our Nintendo fanboy. The floor is yours.
So a lot of interesting things to take from this tweet itself, right? 40 minutes of information. That's a chunky, long direct. And knowing Nintendo, that could mean a lot of things. It could be, hey, here's 26 games being talked about, or hey, here's like 4 games being talked about for way too long, and the long ones are not the ones that you actually want to see. So like always with Nintendo, you can't ever fully predict what they're actually going to do. And especially them, we've talked about this a lot over the last couple of years as more developers and publishers have been taking it into their own hands to do direct style presentations and just own their own messaging for game announcements and all of that, where they will try to like get everybody to temper their expectations and expect exactly what they should and to dissuade people being upset. It's never going to happen. And the worst thing is a lot of these people end up not being fully truthful, and Nintendo are the major culprits of that. So them saying mainly focused on Nintendo Switch games launching in the first half of 2022, that mainly focus does give them the wiggle room to focus on some 2023 and some other things. But I just want to remind everybody that this is the same company that in the past has said, we're only talking about this year's games, and then started it with Daemon Machina, which was a game coming out the following year. Or they did that a different time, and Splatoon 3 was announced for a different year. So there is no actual pattern. Yeah, they're just dirty fucking liars, Greg Miller. But what I wanted to do is Greg hit me up this morning. He's like, hey, I want you to come in and speculate with some stuff. And I was like, I'm going to do that. And so I made a little list with a couple different categories that I want to go through of potential things we might see. And I wanted to discuss with you guys the likelihood that we see those things.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tenets of Tim. Tim, take it away.
Thank you very much for that. I just want to say it is kind of crazy going into a general Nintendo Direct. And this is the first time in 4 years that there's not speculation on Smash Brothers. There's not a hype of what are they going to announce? Is Smash going to be there? What's going on?
Yeah,
it's like,
because that's done, right? They're finished.
It's done. It's done.
That's what they want you to think, though. Maybe they will announce something just to fuck with you.
Maybe it's
more
Nintendo.
Spirits, just spirits for you.
Thank you. I'd appreciate that. I mean, with Smash, this isn't the most exciting thing, but I wouldn't be too surprised if at some point we get a Smash Ultimate Edition that is
with like all the DLC characters.
Yeah, so
yeah, that'll be
we can expect that at some point. I don't know that now's the time, but hey, why not? Sora's out, everything's done. But let's start with what I like to call the sure bets. All right, Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. We're talking 2022, specifically the first half of 2022. That's going to be their big tentpole game. That's coming in March. We know it's going to be there. I don't know how much they're going to focus on it, but I do think that it is going to be one of the more major kind of tentpoles.
I got that in my fantasy draft. I'm excited about that one. High hopes.
Yeah, because you're shitting the bed so far.
Fuck off. I'm doing all right, actually. Apart from one of my counter picks blowing up in my face and another one of my main picks slipping into next year, I'm doing just fine.
Other than that, you're doing
great. That, it's all good.
It's all roses for Gary Witta over there.
Next up, sure bet, I would say, is Advanced Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. That got delayed out of last year into this year. I don't think there's much they need to say about it, just a kind of reminder, hey, it's coming and it's coming very soon. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. That's another one that we kind of have seen teased or shown up a couple times, but I think now is time to start really ramping up the discussions about it being a big collab title between first party and third party with Ubisoft on that, with them doing a Mario game and it being a sequel to an awesome game from the Switch's first year. And I keep saying that I feel it in my bones, Gary, that 2022 is going to be the sequel to the Nintendo Switch 2017. So a lot of the games we saw that year, I'm expecting we're going to see sequels to this year. And that includes things like Breath of the Wild, potentially a Mario Odyssey, potentially a Mario Kart, potentially, or Splatoon 3, Mario plus Rabbids. There's a lot of things that can go wrong there, but I think that's the plan from Nintendo.
Okay.
Wait, when do you think we see that? When do you see Kart? Because Nevans Island. Okay, Nevans Island wrote in to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, just like you can, to be a part of the show, when he saw my call for your wild predictions. And he said, for tomorrow, I think most likely we see Mario Kart 9 as the big release to close out the Direct. This will lessen the blowback if there is no Breath of the Wild 2 news, and if we get a Fire Emblem or Xenoblade sequels to start the show. Do you think we're seeing Mario Kart 9 tomorrow?
So I don't think we will. But I do think that we have to at some point. There's a section later I'm going to get to, Greg, that will.
My apologies.
I want to deeper dive
into the kids touch the ball.
Into they can touch it. But what's interesting about what I'm saying, and I want to make this very clear, and I said this on the predictions episode on Gamescast, is I'm not saying I think this is going to happen. I'm saying I think Nintendo's current plan is for it to be the sequel. Everything's going to get delayed. There's going to be messes every single which way, and I think it's not going to shake out that way. But I do think that is the plan. And I think that makes sense when you look at the teams working on all those games and what they have been working on or not working on that we know of the last couple of years. Moving on with more sure bets. Project Triangle.
Can I just say I'm so I love it so much that Tim's got all of his thoughts about tomorrow's direct broken down into sections like in his little Trapper Keeper. He's such a nerd. I love it.
I love you, Gary. So Project Triangle Strategy, we're going to see more of it. That's such Nintendo Direct fodder. We can totally imagine those type of Japanese games love to get shown off in these directs, and that game looks awesome. I think we're going to see it. Splatoon 3, I think we get a release date or announcement of some test flights. We know it's 2022. I believe that game's 2022. We haven't heard too much about it. I think now is the time. Moving on from sure bets. Splatoon 3. Yeah.
Okay. You're going to make Janet Garcia very happy. Andy Cortez, I think, would like it, but he's never played it before.
Never will. The next section I like to call the Where There's Smokes. Okay. These are things that aren't officially confirmed.
Tim put so much thought into this.
This is the tendency, Tim.
Gary, I want to let you know I put 15 minutes of thought into this, but that is more time than I've ever put into Games Daily before. So,
but here's my thing:
it's
not like 15 minutes is all. You think about this shit all the time. You're in the shower thinking about this. You know what I mean?
You're right. Yeah. So where there's smokes, these are the things where it's like we've heard rumors, we've heard rumblings, but like nothing's official. But it's kind of like if they're announced, we're not going to be like, oh man, that's crazy. Greg Miller.
You're saying smokes, plural, right? Is it like a play on? Are you doing like a play on words?
What's where there's smoke, there's fire, but it's plural.
There's many smokes.
Okay.
Well, in the same way that I called it for sure.
God damn it, Kevin! Like we all know what he's saying. I love Kevin's there though. Kevin's there to make sure I can't make fun. He will button it up so I can't make fun of Tim.
Well, I said the sure bets, right? Even though that's because
it's just when the way you're saying where there's smokes makes me think it's like a Jeopardy.
Greg,
like all your things are going to be related to smoking cigarettes. Or yeah, what's up?
Where there's smokes, there's fires. It's so easy.
I don't think.
So, all right, so this section is like things that are possible based on rumors that are out there. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, and not just rumors, but like things that are like that seem, I'd say, even more likely than rumor. Like the things that are, it's only a matter of time before they're officially announced somewhere. So starting off with Batman Arkham Collection. There's been a lot of scuttle about that last week. I think this is where we see it. That just makes sense. And then the next one, this one is, I think, a bit more exciting and less likely, but we'll see it at some point. Goldeneye being added to Switch Online. There's been a lot of talks about the licensing of that stuff. Most of the conversation has been based on like an Xbox more remastery type thing.
BanderSN writes into patreon.com/kindoffunnygames and says, hey, KOGD Crow Games. My prediction for tomorrow's Nintendo Direct is the announcement of GoldenEye coming to Nintendo Switch this month. Later after the show, Xbox will also tweet that it's coming to Game Pass as well. Obviously, Xbox achievements had leaked for GoldenEye.
I got to ask because I know that GoldenEye is a game that is held in tremendous regard and nostalgic affection by people that remember the N64 version. The N64 emulation is there now in Nintendo Switch Online. I get it, but do you think this is something that people would really like be into? Because A, I don't think the game's aged terribly well, and B, Nintendo's kind of made a bit of a mess of these N64 ports so far. So what can we really expect?
Well, I think you're right that at the end of the day, this isn't going to like change the world. GoldenEye is what it is, which is a classic, but it does not hold up in terms of gameplay in modern times. Having said that, I do think that the Switch Online and a Xbox remaster, why not, it's going to be like a fun hour or two of people just popping in, being nostalgic about it. Nintendo has improved a lot of the N64 emulation in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, so they have? That's good.
Yeah, so I think that they're setting up a better foundation for this potentially, meaning as much as port of an N64 game possibly can.
And just online play alone would be cool, right? That's something that you couldn't do back in the day, so it'd be fun.
Yeah, right. Totally. So that's all I got for the Where There's Smokes, Greg.
Okay. Great.
Next up, we got a little indie speculation for you. All right,
I love it.
Sports story.
Where
is
the
it?
fuck is this game?
Yeah, we're gonna have to see it at some point. And this whole category here, I'm a little mixed on because Nintendo does like to do its indie showcases separate from its directs,
Sure.
but it does do indie announcements in directs every once in a while. So again, no real pattern to follow there. Sports Story, we got to hear about it at some point. Will it be tomorrow? Definitely could be. I'm 50-50 on it.
This is the follow up to Golf Story.
Mhm.
Okay.
Hollow Knight Silk Song. Doubtful. Very doubtful. I feel like Andy Cortez is correct in his prediction that the next time we hear about this game, it's going to be ready, shadow drop. It's out today. I
Could
feel
that be tomorrow? Why couldn't that be tomorrow?
it could be, but I kind of feel like we'd be hearing more rumblings about it being close to ready before that happens. And again, I do think it's inevitable that this does happen, but tomorrow just doesn't feel right to me.
Okay.
Next up, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Announced last year, looks dope as hell. We don't have a release date. I desperately want a release date. IGN is doing a thing called Fan Fest in a couple weeks, and they've confirmed the Ninja Turtles is part of that. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Nintendo announces its release date tomorrow, and then they get a gameplay reveal or something at that IGN Fan Fest, because I don't see them announcing a release date there, and we know it's confirmed to be there. But that's just me maybe like thinking a little too hard about playing chess with how these announcements are made.
Sure.
You seem like you're not into it, Greg. What
No, I'm into it. I'm with you. It's you're I'm thinking checkers, you're thinking chess. Actually, I'm sorry. I'm thinking checkers, you're thinking the better game, Monopoly.
Hold on. Okay. That's all I got for indie speculation there. All right.
Can I ask him a couple of questions? Oh, no, sorry, you're moving on to the next
Hold on,
bit.
no,
Right?
I
Tim's
gotta
got more sections. He's got more.
No, I asked him, like, I'm very much a visual person. I'm like, can you send me the doc you're working off of? And there are so many categories, Tim.
Has he got like charts and
There's
graphs and shit?
There's so many tenets of Tim.
I love it. You gotta
He's
love
up all night.
What's your
working on
question,
this
Gary
shit.
Witta?
Sorry. I have a
question.
question, but I didn't realize that you had more. Finish all that, and then I'll have a question for you at the end.
Okay. Next up, we have the DL on DLC. All right, Nintendo doesn't always do DLC, but they do more often now than they ever have before, and it's random as shit. It could happen anytime, or it could not happen. How did we not get proper Mario Odyssey DLC? I don't know. How did we not get Mario Kart 8 Deluxe
Remember how
DLC?
cool it sounded? We all
I
thought
don't
we were
know.
getting really cool Mario Odyssey
DL on
DLC.
DLC. He's thought out the headlines and everything. It's
Yeah,
like
no, he's here. He knows what's up.
it's like a TED talk.
Oh, Gary, I got a fucking great one coming up soon. But hold on. So here's the thing: Mario Party Superstars. It's right for it, man. We need more boards. I think that would be awesome. Nintendo did eventually do DLC for Super Mario Party, but they got Mario Party Superstars right. It's going back to the classic boards. Just give us more classic boards. I think that this is, I would say, likely, but who the hell knows in Nintendo. Next up, Pokemon Legends Arceus DLC. I think it's too soon. I also think that means they might want to strike, though.
I would think, this is you could
hot.
just tease it, right? The game's a huge success. If you've been on the fence or you're already beaten it because you're a Pokemaniac, here's some cool stuff that's still coming down the pipe.
Yeah, the thing is, they usually would do that in a Pokemon Direct, not a Nintendo Direct. So there's just a couple factors that are confusing me, but I do think you got to strike where the iron's hot, and they know what they have right now, and it is easy enough to just announce, hey, we're going to be talking about this thing later.
Couldn't it be like how they kind of did the Animal Crossing Direct tease? Right, when they were like, "Hey, we're bringing back the coffee shop. Brewster's coming back," so they just did a quick tease and said, "Hey, there'll be his own thing."
Yeah. So Arceus is a bona fide hit. Yeah, I know that. I know that critically it's done better than expected, but it's been selling like shit off a shovel as well. I'm presuming.
So many. I've never heard that saying before.
I mean, it's a Pokemon game.
Yeah, but no, I mean,
even by those
beating
standards,
Pokemon records. Like, and think about it, it's beating Pokemon records as we've called out before, and it's one game. It's not the usual. There's Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, 2 copies out there to buy. It's just one game, and yes, it's killing. Sorry, Tim.
No, it's all good. Next up,
tenets of Tim.
Next up, this is the least likely, but most exciting to me. Metroid Dread. I don't know if it's possible. Metroid Dread sold very well for Metroid games, didn't sell as well as like crazy Switch games that they might want to double down to get that DLC money from, right? But there is that hardcore fervent fan base there, and I think it'd be quote unquote easy enough for them to do a standalone kind of just mission with Samus that takes place after Dread or anywhere within Dread, whatever. I think it'd be awesome, but maybe I'm just getting a little crazy here. But I was just trying to think, what could they even do DLC for it? And that one potentially. Next up, I want to talk about the biggest ones, the unicorns. We got Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, Metroid Prime 4, and Bayonetta 3. I feel it is very unlikely we see Metroid Prime 4 at all. I think that it is 50-50 on whether they talk about Breath of the Wild 2. If they do, I don't know what exactly they would say. I think that the most pertinent information at this point is the release date and the title. And something in me tells me it's too early to reveal the title. I don't think Nintendo, I think they want it to come out this year. I don't think that they know it's going to come out this year. So I think they might want to hold off on that type of stuff until a later, maybe more E3 time frame direct. But I wouldn't be surprised if they just dropped something just to keep people being like, oh yeah, that big game is coming, you know?
Metroid,
Yeah. You guys have thoughts on that?
I think you'll see it, but I don't think the needle's going to advance significantly towards us knowing much more about the game. I think they'll show it because I think it'll be conspicuous by their absence if they don't. But I don't think you're going to get like a locked-in release date or a title or anything significant. I think we'll see
we're talking
more.
about Prime right now or Breath of the Wild?
Breath of the Wild 2.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah, they have to say something, right? And I do not think it'll be a release date, but I think they have, right? Because that will be all the headlines of where is Breath of the Wild today, even is where the Breath of the Wild. I think they kind of tried to get around with it, right? Where they're talking about, mainly launching on the first half of the year. You could get around it that way of like, oh, it's going to be a fall game or something like that. But even still, I think you have to, right, Tim? Don't you have to say or do something, even if it's just in the press release after the fact of like.
Here's the thing. No, they don't. They don't have to because they've already said what they need to, which is it's a 2022 game. All the information that has to be out there is already out there, and they have enough things to talk about here that because especially with them focusing on first half of 2022, Breath of the Wild 2 is not going to be that. So they have so many other things they could tease or announce. I think it's more likely they announce a new game that's headline worthy than Breath of the Wild 2 getting a deeper look or title release window or anything like that. But again, I do think it's 50-50. It definitely can happen because Nintendo has no rules at all.
I think I would think gamers want it, and common sense I would think would say you say something in there about it, but I would probably say you're not going to get anything. And I think that's why they went out of their way to talk about the first half of the year.
The next section, and this is the name I'm most proud of.
Wait, hold on. Before you even do that, though, Bayonetta 3, what do you think? Do you think we're getting a release date?
Oh, man. I think we see Bayonetta 3.
But do you get a release date?
I think so.
Right,
that feels like a May game to me.
I need everyone in the world to, and I don't ask for this often. I need everyone in the world to direct good vibes. If you're the praying type, your prayers tonight, don't get me wrong. Grandma and grandpa.
Touch your screen right now. Put your hand on the screen.
Okay.
Connect with us.
I need a Bayonetta
bring together the Kind of Funny nation.
It's Kind of Funny release day.
Touch your hands
here today.
And put those vibes out there.
In the tenets of Tim here.
I wonder how many people are actually doing this right now.
Because we need to get a Bayonetta 3 release date tomorrow. And you might say, Greg, I've never heard you talk about Bayonetta. I didn't know you love Bayonetta. I don't give a flying fuck about Bayonetta. But Kevin, I sent you a tweet from Emmett Watkins Jr. Emmett Watkins Jr., of course, is Kind of Funny best friend. He's helped us out on streams before and a million other things. Today, Emmett Watkins Jr. tweeted, if Bayonetta 3 gets a date here, then I'm going to buy her costume and stream the game while wearing it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to see that. And I think the Kind of Funny Nation wants to see that. So everybody, for Emmett Watkins in a Bayonetta outfit, I need you to pray to whatever god, devil, person you worship. All right.
Who would you most want to see from Kind of Funny doing a Bayonetta stream in Bayonetta cosplay?
Oh, that's an easy answer.
Is it, Tim? I don't know.
Yeah, Nick would be great.
Nick would really get into it. Nick's got a lot of things he's just afraid to do, but then he when he has the option to wear a cat suit for no reason, that's when he really gets into it. It's like,
has the option.
Just wear it, Nick. We don't mind. You do whatever you want. Be yourself, but he doesn't believe us. Sorry, Tim, what's your next section?
All good. The next section, potential.
Oh my god! Tim, you were up all night, weren't you?
So here's the deal with this one. There's a couple games left on the Wii U to be ported. Xenoblade X is one of them. I think that is semi-likely to come at some point, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was here. I'm going to spoil one of my sections coming up later. But Monolith Soft, what are they going to be working on? What are they doing? It's either going to be Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but we just got 2 last year, so that might be a quick turnaround. That's why I think an export might make a little sense for this year, and just kind of finalize that Wii U, the porting that they need to do. Metroid Prime Trilogy /1 remake. This is semi where there's smoke, there's fire situation. We've heard about it for so long. I do think it's inevitable we get some form of Metroid Prime, the original games, on the Switch. I don't think we'll see that tomorrow. I think that it's ironically too early to get that. And I feel like with Metroid Prime, we always hit a cycle every year where it's like, well, they want to do the trilogy leading into 4. And it's like, well, I just don't feel like 4 is anytime soon. So I don't think we're going to see that tomorrow. Zelda, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess. These are another ones that are inevitable. We're going to get them on the Switch at some point. Will it be a bundle? Will they be separate games? I don't know, but I think that there's a 50-50 shot we see it tomorrow. This is totally a coin toss. And then the last one that I want to bring up for that is Mario Galaxy 2. And with that, do they just release all of the Mario 3D All-Stars games individually on the eShop or whatever? Galaxy 2, the one game that hasn't been ported yet.
That's the one I want.
Yeah, me too. And I don't think this is slam dunk.
To patreon.com/kindoffunnygames says, I think they'll announce that you can buy the individual Mario 3D All-Star titles on the Nintendo Store, as well as Galaxy 2 releasing on the 1-year anniversary of them being removed. I'll then proceed to only buy Galaxy 1 and 2.
Gotta have Galaxy 2. Come on.
Yeah, I would love that. I don't know how much I actually believe it, but just wanted to put it out there for you to think on. Next up, section I like to call Other Musings. Random things I didn't have a category to fit in. There's been a lot of GBA love recently.
Believe it or not, there's more categories.
There's only one more after this. Only one more. So this one, Other Musings here. We got a lot of GBA love in the last year. Would have never seen Advance Wars coming back, right? I would have never seen WarioWare coming back. But we got a lot of that energy last year. I think there's a lot of nostalgia, a lot of goodwill towards the GBA era. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get, whether it's ports, remakes, remasters, sequels, whatever, to things like Golden Sun or Wario Land or Mega Man Battle Network, like that type of stuff. So just keep your eye out for some GBA nostalgia. Okay. Next up, Persona. At some point, they're going to do some Persona thing, whether it's 3, whether it's 4, whether it's 5, whether it's a collection. I don't freaking know, but I just feel like we're going to have to keep saying it until it eventually happens so we can say, I told you so. Right, Greg?
Exactly. Yeah.
Sonic Frontiers. Could be here. Could be not.
Is that the open world one?
Yeah. So seeing that at Game Awards, which was not too long ago, but I feel like if they're going to stick to that 2022 date that they put out there, Sonic and Nintendo, ironically, have had a lot of connection the last couple of years. So I can see Nintendo kind of owning marketing on all of that. And I think if they're going to start, why not start now? Got to go fast. Mario, the Mario movie trailer. Will we get a trailer for it? Probably not.
Yeah,
December is far away. But
will it be a reveal though? But will it be a reveal of Chris Pratt's voice?
That's the thing, is I think we see something from the Mario movie. We last time, I think it was the September Direct that we got the casting news of all of that. So I think they're going to start doing something. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a teaser of some sort. And if we did see a teaser, Greg, yes, we will hear Chris Pratt as Mario.
Yeah, maybe a little teaser in lieu of a full trailer later.
And then the last section is just, what have they been working on? All right, we're looking at a lot of Nintendo teams. This goes back to when I started this conversation of this could be a sequel to 2017. A lot of the teams that made games that year haven't really been doing much, or they've been ports, or they've been smaller titles, whatever it is. We don't know. And there's a lot of questions, a lot of speculation. Next Level Games, Gary, this one's for you. This one's going to get you real excited.
Go on.
What have they been working on? You know, they've worked on a lot of the sports titles. What's happening at the end of this year, Gary?
Who the fuck knows? Like, what's their big holiday title? I mean, presumably Breath of the Wild, right? But
God, the World Cup.
The World Cup is happening, Gary.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's next year. No, wait, that's this year.
It's this year.
That's this year. I keep forgetting about it because the whole story around the World Cup is just awful this year. But no, yeah, okay. So wait, are you leading me? Don't do this to me, Tim. Because I know where you're going.
I'm doing it.
Don't do this to me.
Mario Strikers, baby, let's go.
What about if it was Mario Strikers World Cup Edition?
That's what I'm saying.
Because we know that FIFA are looking for, they're newly single, looking for a rebound. Could they wake up in Mario? But could they wake up in bed in between Mario and Luigi after a hot threesome playing with their balls,
Yeah.
soccer balls, that is.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I mean, it could be.
We're gonna see something from
You
next
got me
level.
thinking now, Tim.
And I think that Strikers is gonna come back at some point. And I think now would make more sense than ever. Next up, we got Nintendo EPD. That's the Mario Kart team, right? What have they been up to? In 2017, we got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and we got ARMS. They haven't really been doing too much since then. Mario Kart World Tour has been worked on. They've been helping with that. We're going to get Mario Kart eventually. There's been all those rumors of Mario Kart X, Mario Kart crossover, whatever you want to call it. I hope that they're true. I do believe we're going to get a sequel Mario Kart on the Switch. It's a matter of time. And I think that would be the announcement I'm most excited about potentially coming tomorrow. Next up, Nintendo EAD Tokyo. That's the Mario Odyssey team. What have they been doing since Odyssey? That's like the big question, right? Like, are we going to get an Odyssey 2? There's been rumors of them working on a 2D Donkey Kong game. Maybe it's a 3D Donkey Kong game. What's going on with 2D Mario? Like, it's been a while since we've had a 2D or 3D Mario, because last year we got Mario All-Stars 3D World. Or sorry, Mario 3D World. And we got Bowser's Fury.
Yeah, Bowser's Fury was like the last new thing that they did, right?
Yeah, and so that really felt like a test bed for something that they're trying to get going. So I don't know. We're going to see something from them, and I feel like they need to announce their project this year. Is tomorrow too early? Maybe, but I do think we're going to hear that team's game this year.
Do you think they would do another pure 2D Mario like the old Super Mario Brothers U type games that you remember they used to have on the Wii U, the 4-player ones? Those were fun. Do you think they'd ever go straight back to 2D?
That's the thing, man. There hasn't been a new 2D Mario game since 2013, right? When the Wii U launched. That's absolutely insane. So they have to at some point. And God, if they do a new 2D Mario game, please have a new graphic style.
I guess
please
Mario Maker technically counts, right?
Well, but I mean, Nintendo didn't really level design a game there. You know what I mean? Like they made
there was a little single player campaign, but I know what you mean. There's not been like a full fat Mario 2D game for a long time. Yeah.
Next up, Intelligent Systems. I expect we'll see Fire Emblem tomorrow, and that excites me. The question is it a remake of an old game or is it a brand new game? Three Houses did super well. Awakening did super well, bringing it to like extreme prominence as one of Nintendo's core IPs. Greg Miller, you had a question?
Stephen James Oslund writes into patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. Says, good morning. We all know a Nintendo Direct can only mean one thing. Fire Emblem. No more Smash characters to introduce means it's time for a remake and a new title. A remake of Awakening coming in fall of 2022. So that Triangle Strategy has time to breathe a new title to launch in early spring of 2023.
Yeah. I mean, we need a new Fire Emblem. I'd be most excited if it was a Path of Radiance remake. It's Fire Emblem 9. But I think that it might be a remake of 4, which is going to excite a lot of people. But I do think we'll see Fire Emblem tomorrow. Monolith Soft, I was saying earlier, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I think it's a little too early. But I do think we're going to hear something from them, whether it's X or a tease for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Grezzo. They did Link's Awakening. It was awesome. There's the team that did a lot of the ports back in the day for their Luigi's Mansion coming to DS. They did Ocarina of Time. They did Majora's Mask coming to 3DS. I think that they have proven that they can kind of do even more than that with what they did with Link's Awakening, not just remaster and port, but like kind of remake in a different way. I'd love to see some Oracle's games. I don't know if that's going to happen. That team has released multiple games a year for the last couple of years. Last year in 2021, they just ported Miitopia. And then before that, nothing in 2020. And then 2019, it was just Link's Awakening. But before that, they had multiple game releases a year. So they've been working on something. What the pandemic did to that, I don't know. But I'm very excited. We're going to get something from them. Maybe not tomorrow, but we're going to. And the final thing is Arika. They're the team that made the 35 and 99 games. Tetris 99, Pac-Man 99, Mario 35. What's next? My money is either a Kirby thing or a Dr. Mario thing.
Ooh, Dr. Mario is a good shout.
Because they worked on one of the Dr. Mario games recently. I think it might have been the mobile one, but they have some lineage there. So wouldn't be too surprised. But anyway, that's all I got for you. I know I didn't take too long with that.
That's all.
That
I
all,
got.
Tim?
40 minutes of
I can't believe you phoned it in like that.
Yeah.
You crushed it, Tim. You crushed
Thank
it. So
you.
out of what are you most excited for then tomorrow? You've gone through all your different things, the sure bets, you're where the smokes. What's the thing that is going to be what do you want the most out of tomorrow?
Mario Kart 9.
Ooh, okay.
Would be the thing that I want the most. And I don't expect it. Like, I don't it's funny because like people might hear what I just did and said and be like, oh, Tim's setting himself up for disappointment. No, I'm just putting all the pieces on the table of what's possible. Nintendo tomorrow is either going to wildly disappoint me or get me extremely excited in a way they haven't in a couple years. And I feel like they're due for one of those more than the former. But hey, I can't ever count on Nintendo for shit these days. So we'll see.
All right. Well, Tim, thank you for your exhaustive
Tim, let's have a round of applause for Tim, because that was amazing how much effort he
Send
put
it to
into
Tim,
that.
everybody.
Incredible.
That's Tim Geddes. Follow him on Twitter at Tim Geddes. So, of course, we'll be live reacting to this tomorrow on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. You can come watch us watch the Nintendo Direct live stream. Again, that is tomorrow, Wednesday the 9th, 2 p.m. Pacific, for roughly 40 minutes of information about that, as long as this conversation took. we'll watch it. If you need to catch it later, youtube.com/kindafunnyplays, of course, for everything that we put up on Twitch and put over there. Of course, if you really wanted to support us, though, why not go to patreon.com/kindafunnygames. On patreon.com/kindafunnygames, you can write in to be part of the show, just like Nevans Island did, BanderSN did, KBABZ did, James Oslund did, and of course, you can get the show ad-free. But guess what, Jack? You're not listening on patreon.com/kindafunnygames. So here's a word from our sponsor.
This episode is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Look, I get it. You don't watch porn, so maybe you're just paying attention to this ad for, a friend. But with everything going on in the world, governments have increased surveillance. They're using your devices to track your location movements and in a lot of places, your internet activity. ExpressVPN reroutes your internet connection through a secure encrypted server so you can surf the web anonymously. Newsflash, incognito mode is a sham. Your ISP can still see every single site you visit. But with one click of a button, ExpressVPN keeps others from seeing all the freaky stuff you've been looking at. Yeah. Talking about you, Nick Scarpino. We've been using ExpressVPN for a long time. It's been keeping me safe, keeping me secure. I just feel better being out on the internet, knowing that ExpressVPN has my back. Protect your privacy today and get 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. Visit expressvpn.com/kindafunny. That's expressvpn.com/kindafunny for 3 months free with a 1-year package. Visit expressvpn.com/kindafunny to learn more. Shout out to Chime for sponsoring this episode. New year, new you, maybe a you who leaves behind things that don't serve you, like those dang overdraft fees. When your checking account balance is running low, the last thing you need is an overdraft fee. But with Chime, an award-winning app and debit card, you can save that hard-earned cash money without paying overdraft fees. Eligible members can overdraft up to $200 on debit card purchases and cash withdrawals with absolutely no overdraft fees. Make your first good decision in 2022 and join over 10 million people using Chime. Sign up only takes 2 minutes and doesn't affect your credit score. You can get started at chime.com/kfgames. That's chime.com/kfgames. Banking services provided by and debit card issued by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank N.A. members FDIC. Eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Overdraft only applies to debit card purchases and cash withdrawals. Limits start at $20 and may be increased up to $200 by Chime. See chime.com/spotme and go to chime.com/kfgames to get started.
Whew, catch your breath. Gary, did you want to add anything to the old Nintendo conversation?
Tim's analysis was so comprehensive. It's like, what's left? But I did have a couple of thoughts that, that kind of intersected with some of the stuff that Tim said. And I also had like nothing as exhaustive as Tim, but I was thinking about it in three different sections. One is like, what's the thing that's totally reasonable to expect that you probably won't get? And then the next section would be, what's the thing that would make me really happy and isn't totally unreasonable to expect? And then like, what's the moonshot? What's the thing that if they dropped it out of the blue, Nintendo fans would be like running into the streets and tearing their clothes off and just like hugging each other with
like the Smash reveal that one time.
Yeah. So the thing that's totally reasonable to expect, but we probably won't get, would be some Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC. And this is really just an excuse for me to rant about the fact that it's astonishing to me that the Nintendo has not supported that game with DLC to any kind of extent. Mario Golf, which came out last year and is not, don't get me wrong, I fucking love Mario Golf. It's one of my favorite games of the last year. I played a ton of it. But it's not in anywhere near the level of Mario Kart in terms of sales or, exposure. Like Mario Kart was a Switch launch title, and it was still one of Nintendo's top-selling games last Christmas. And they've never, but the DLC support for a game which is so easy to support through extra tracks and modes and stuff. What do they add? 200cc, and what, a mirror mode, and that's all they've ever
But to be,
done.
I mean, to be
It's
fair,
shocking.
right? Like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is all the DLC that came from Mario Kart 8 when it was on Wii U.
Yeah,
So
but it's
that,
its own thing, and it's been out for
But
6 years, and they could easily support it with DLC for a
but I'd
game that
much
is
rather, I
so
personally would much rather
popular.
them make Mario Kart 9.
Okay, so that takes me to my that's actually my next section, which is the thing that I think would be reasonable to expect based on the rumors that we've seen would be a little glimpse of Mario Kart 9. It's time. And I wouldn't expect like a full, walk through it, but I think they might say, and coming soon, like maybe 5 seconds, maybe a logo, maybe a title reveal or something, maybe a hint of what that, the new gimmick is, because there's supposed to be some kind of new gimmick to it. But I think we would all like to know for sure, hear it from Nintendo, that Mario Kart 9 is coming. And I don't,
For sure.
that would be amazing, but it wouldn't be out of the blue because we've heard things about it.
For sure.
And then my third thought on the thing that would get Nintendo fans just absolutely kind of just like rending their garments and like running into, traffic. And this wouldn't necessarily excite me because they're not my kind of games, but like a new mainline 3D Donkey Kong Country platformer would be, I think, incredible, because that's another one where those are some of Nintendo fans' favorite, like Tropical Freeze
Sure.
and
October.
the people fucking love those Donkey Kong games, Donkey Kong Country games, such a huge part of Nintendo history, but they have not been any kind of part of recent Nintendo history. And I think people would really love to see a new full fat Donkey Kong 3D platformer.
I wonder if the bar's so low though, because you say what would make people run to the streets. I really think if they were to commit tomorrow and be like, here's Breath of the Wild 2's release date, I think that would set the world on fire for Nintendo fans, because
it would, but it's just more information about something we know is coming. For me, the most
but I think
exciting
so
stuff
many
is
people right now don't believe it's coming.
No, it's the out of the blue stuff where the trailer starts and the clouds part, and you're like, ooh, what is this? What is this? What is this?
Yeah.
And then there's that one of my favorite moments in games, Greg. You know this because you guys have created so many great viral moments out of it in the past. That moment when the penny drops and you realize what this is going to be, and Tim starts frothing at the mouth and
breaks
just oh my god, those are the best moments. I want one of those moments.
I would like one of those moments too tomorrow, but will we get it? 40 minutes is a lot. It remains to be seen. 2 p.m. tomorrow,
It'll be 20
Wednesday.
minutes of Fire Emblem DLC.
Oh god, I know.
Some Splatoon 3.
Garbage. Arms 2.
Yeah.
Blech.
Yeah, Arms 2.
Number 2 on the Roper Report, a quick one that's also happening tomorrow and totally got overshadowed by this Nintendo Direct announcement. Telltale's returning tomorrow with your first look at The Wolf Among Us 2. They put up this: greetings from Fabletown. You're invited to join us for a behind-the-scenes look at The Wolf Among Us 2 and more, hosted by Jeff Keighley. That's going to be Wednesday the 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific. # The Wolf is back.
You had me up until Jeff Keighley.
Yeah, I know. Are you still beefing with him? That's still a thing?
Yeah, big time. This will be interesting though, right? Not just because Wolf Among Us was a really well liked game, and we're excited for a sequel, but because this is kind of our first look at the new Telltale. Yeah, the new reconstituted Telltale. Interesting to see what that looks like.
Yeah, exactly, and that'll be a very interesting look tomorrow to see how that is, how far. The way they say behind the scenes, I wonder how far that game actually is. Is this one of those like typical video game develop? Not that that's bad. Video game developer thing of a lot of like T-posing, moving the characters around. We're getting the slow pans of The Office. Jeff sitting on talking to developers about what new Telltale is, where they're at with the game, what they're trying to accomplish.
One of the things that I think did for the old Telltale in the end was just their technology and their engine. They had great creative people, but their tech was really kind of starting to show its age, and it was like kind of a bit creaky. And those games always looked a little creatively, they look great, but they always were a little bit janky from a technical perspective.
They were very janky, yes.
If this is an entirely new team with a new technological foundation, I think this. I'm potentially. I want to give this new Telltale the benefit of the doubt. I want to believe that they can bring back everything that's great about the old Telltale. The great storytelling. Working with really interesting, licenses, whether it be Game of Thrones or Batman or Wolf Among Us, Walking Dead, you name it.
Yeah.
But with a fresh approach and a new technological framework, all of the old ghosts, exorcised, and a fresh start. I think it's potentially really exciting if they're getting it right. I hope they are.
We will see tomorrow if they are. First glimpses of if they're getting it right. Again, that is at 10 a.m. tomorrow, Wednesday the 9th. Obviously, Games Daily will be live during it. If anything breaking news really comes from it, I'm sure Blessing will be able to give you the update, but we will wait and see. Number 3, I got a couple of quick hits here for you on Apex Legends. We'll start over at the Washington Post, where Ethan Davidson did an interview. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't. Davison? Maybe no D in there. Davison, unless I typed it wrong. Did an interview with Respawn Entertainment's game director Steven Ferreira. There was a question about a sequel or what happens next. Steven said, "We don't think of an end game. That's one of the coolest things about working on Apex is the fact that it is live service. We don't see any reason to reboot the franchise or put out a sequel. We want to continue to have Apex grow perpetually. We think that there's a lot of runway in terms of the creative space within the universe that we've developed. There's way more still out there that we want to try than we can actually plot out and think of on a calendar. So right now, there's no plans to sequel it, and there's no plans to sunset it either. We've just got more and more good ideas, hopefully good ideas that we're excited by." If that wasn't enough, and you're like, well, Apex has been out a while. Eddie Mack-ooh over at GameSpot has this. Apex on PS5 has been rated by the ESRB. A rating for Apex Legends on PS5 has been published on the ESRB's website, suggesting a new version of the game might be officially announced soon. The ESRB's rating doesn't include any details on a release date or new information, but the fact that it's been rated for PS5 suggests that EA and Respawn are gearing up for an announcement. Presumably, an Xbox Series X/S edition is also in the works, but a rating isn't available on the database. Back in January, the PlayStation GameSize social media account claimed to have discovered a PS5 edition of Apex Legends that would be about 80 gigabytes in size. Currently, Apex Legends does not have a bespoke edition for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X/S, so people who have those consoles are technically playing on the PS4/Xbox One versions. Respawn's Steven Ferreira, again from up top, said in a Reddit AM that the studio is targeting 120 frames per second for Apex Legends on PS5 and Xbox Series X/S. Quote, "Can't promise anything, but with the core mechanics feel of Apex being such an important piece of player experience, this one is a high on the priority list," Steven wrote.
Mm-hmm.
Gary, did you ever get into Apex? Was that ever your bag?
No, and I kind of feel dumb about it because I love BRs. I've played a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And I love Respawn, and I like the aesthetic. I like the look of it. I don't know why, for some reason, it never came together to me in a way where I wanted to. I think because when it first came out, I was already like playing. I was still like really into PUBG and
Sure.
playing a bunch of stuff that I'm kind of into this already. And now it feels like it's been out for so long and the player base is so established and the lore and they want to like season 5. I almost feel like, I don't know if other people feel this way, but I feel almost a little bit intimidated coming into a game as a noob that late, right? Because everyone I'm going to meet is probably people that, I know that they'll try to matchmake me with similar players, but I don't know. I just kind of feel a little bit like out of my depth because it is so established.
Totally. Yeah, never was I love Titanfall, but yeah, I never got into Apex either, but I'm glad it's doing well and there's a fan base.
Yeah, it's doing great apparently. It's got a very loyal fan base for sure.
Number 4 on the Roper Report, the Gayming with GAY, Gayming Awards 2020 nominations have been announced. This is from GamingMag.com. Again, GAYMING mag.com. The first and only global award ceremony celebrating LGBTQ plus video game and queer geek culture is back on April 25th, live in person and on Twitch. The Gayming Awards, presented by Twitch, returns for its second year in April 2022 with a mission to celebrate diversity and inclusivity globally within games and interactive media. It's set to be even grander than the inaugural event. I don't have it here, but friend of the show, Julia Hardy, is hosting it, so make sure you watch it on the 25th. But
I like Julia Hardy. She's cool.
Yeah, she's British like you, you know?
Yeah. She does the BBC coverage for video games, right? A bunch of that stuff.
Quick rundown of the things that are getting the nods over there. Game of the Year, sponsored by PlayStation. Nominees are Boyfriend Dungeon, Life is Strange True Colors, Psychonauts 2 and Unpacking. Best LGBTQ indie game, sponsored by Xbox, is A Year of Springs, Boyfriend Dungeon, Lake, Sword of the Necromancer, Unpacking, When the Night Comes. Authentic Representation Award nominees are sponsored by Marvelous Europe, Boyfriend Dungeon, Life is Strange True Colors, Unpacking, Unsighted, and then Best LGBTQ Character, sponsored by Rocksteady Studios, Alex Chen from Life is Strange True Colors, Helmut Fullbear and Bob Zanato from Psychonauts 2, Stephen Gingrich in Life is Strange True Colors, and Meredith Weiss in Lake.
You know what I think is really great about that list, Greg?
A lot of Life is Strange, and everybody should vote down the line if you're a judge for Life is Strange.
Lake, which is one of my favorite games of last year,
and
obviously there's still a lot of work to do, but I think that list really illustrates like just how far we have come already in terms of better diversity, inclusion, and like LGBT, accessibility, stuff like that. Like when you were listing, it's not like, oh, here are like the best LGBTQ games of the year, but like they're these fringe titles, and like if you were to do the actual all the best games of the year, they probably like would be on the outside of that. The games that you just listed could just be a straight up like game of the year list, right? Life is Strange, Psychonauts, Lake, Unpacking. Those are just some of the best games of the year, but they also happen to be LGBTQ games, and I think that's to be applauded. It's a good sign, I think.
I agree with you, Gary. Check out the full list over there of nominees for the Gaming Awards 2022, gamingmag.com, and then check it out April 25th live on Twitch. Tell Julie Hardy we sent you. Number 5 on the Roper Report, Rockstar still cares about single-player games, at least according to Strauss Zelnick. This is Eddie Macko again over at GameSpot. Grand Theft Auto fans have criticized Rockstar Games for not releasing much in the way of additional single-player content for GTA 5, instead focusing on growing GTA Online. While it may be true that Rockstar is focused more on GTA Online, which has received more than 40 updates since launch, the studio remains committed to making single-player experiences. This is according to Strauss Zelnick, the head of Rockstar parent company Take-Two. During Take-Two's latest earnings briefing, Zelnick said his company has never believed that single-player game/experience would go away. In Zelnick's view, he sees enough space for both single-player and multiplayer experiences from Rockstar in the future. I want to parse through some of the stuff here. He's telling obviously that they're both really Rockstar is great at both, right? With obviously single player GTA 5 and then GTA Online. But
well, I think there's a lot of GTA Online and Red Dead Online players that would disagree with the contention that they're great at both.
At multiplayer games?
Yeah, online games.
I mean,
it's a new story every week about the
I didn't bring in Red Dead to the conversation. I know that's got a whole thing of promises. Yeah, there's a lot of GTA Online players that are making that game chart every so often, selling MPD and putting millions and millions and millions of dollars into it. So they can shut up if they're going to be like, this game sucks, but I've played 4,000 hours of it. Zelnick pointed to GTA Online's new expansion, the contract, as evidence of this, the fact that they're great at both. Quote, consumers are really excited about Rockstar's storytelling ability, and at the same time, we had a great quarter with Grand Theft Auto Online. So there's a lot of excitement there. So the answer is sort of all of the above. GTA Online's The Contract expansion added all new story content, with players stepping into the shoes of Franklin from the main campaign. Some are wondering if similar character-focused expansions might be coming for GTA 5's other main characters, Trevor and Michael, but as of yet, no announcements have been made. GTA 5 has sold 160 million copies, and the game is poised to grow even bigger when it's released on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X/S in March. Looking beyond that, Rockstar just recently confirmed it is now well into the development of the next GTA game.
Oh, so good.
Gary, you did a roleplay server for GTA Online for a while.
Yeah, I was on NoPixel for a while, playing in the modded version of it. Yeah, really fun.
I assume, I can't remember. I'm sure we have at some point in our friendship in years, but like you love GTA, I would assume. You like GTA 5. Do you enjoy that?
I love it. And as I was saying, I think on the XCast just last week, if I could wave a magic wand and have like a finished version of any game in development in front of me right now to start playing, it would be GTA 6.
Wow. They're making a Wonder Woman game.
GTA 6.
Okay. My question for you, Gary, is would you be satisfied with, they're great at single player stuff. If more of single player content was coming like The Contract, if it was, hey, we're putting story missions into GTA Online that are telling a narrative.
Well, you know me, I love the story. I think the thing that they just did recently with Dr. Dre and continuing that storyline and seeing some of the characters from the original GTA 5 story kind of come back. I thought that was terrific. I really like that, and I would like to see the continuation of the single player story through the online campaigns be more of a thing. Yeah, I thought that was great.
That's honestly, when they started GTA Online, I expected more of that, especially after stuff like, to be old for a second, like GTA 4 with Lost in the Damned or the Ballad of Gay Tony. Like, I would have expected along the way that, I'm not surprised, obviously. Clearly, they're going to keep making GTA games, but between GTA 5 and GTA 6, I would have expected more of this, because that's the kind of shit that would pull me in. I've talked about it on the shows already. I was on PSILY yesterday talking, and it's available now, with Bless about, he loves GTA Online, and it sounds like what they're doing for this PS5 version, better load times and actual tutorials, start you in a better place as your character.
Yeah.
I want to try that. I want to jump into that. And so maybe I'll end up playing The Contract.
What ended up getting me and a few of my friends playing NoPixel was we originally tried to play vanilla GTA Online, because it seemed like it would be fun. The problems we were playing on PC, where they have terrible problems with hackers. It's the most toxic experience I've ever had playing any online game, and that's obviously a very high bar. But when my plan is when this new GTA 5 remaster comes out, hopefully soon, will be to try and again, the load times, as you know, are famously bad, and hopefully some of that stuff's getting fixed for the current gen remaster. I'm gonna give it a try again on console where hacking and stuff like it's still gonna be toxicity, just less of a hacking type nature. I want to give it another try because there is tremendous possibility for fun there, and I would like, God knows how they could ever do it, but I would really like to see GTA Online evolve to something more like an official version of what they do with NoPixel. Because what they do with NoPixel, given that it's just a mod, is absolutely phenomenal. It really is the closest I've ever seen to, and obviously Zuck's made it a dirty word now, but this concept of a metaverse, like a true other world that you can go to and inhabit and live another life and have like a whole other social circle. And it's what they're doing over there with a modded version of the game is remarkable. And I think about what would be possible if that was actually being run out of, Rockstar and Take-Two with all of their resources, like the full role-playing version of GTA Online, I think would be tremendous.
100%. I'm excited to see what happens to GTA Online and what goes on with the future, but we'll have to wait and see. Final one for the day, number 6. This is Tom Holland's dream video game movie. We go to GameSpot.com, who asked him the question on the Uncharted press tour. I have Kevin. There's a clip there for you to play. Before you do, Gary, what do you think he's going to say?
I'm sorry, I sneezed right during the question. What was the question?
What do you think Tom Holland's dream video game project is?
Tom Holland?
Yeah, he's Spider-Man. He's
that one. Okay, yeah.
He's Nathan Drake on Uncharted.
Yeah. Okay. So what? Wait, why are we talking? Did he say something about the video game that he really wants to do?
That was a really.
We're about to see what his dream video is.
He's probably not watching the preview.
Kevin, just play the fucking clip.
I'm not watching. I don't have the stream on because I can't listen to two things at once.
Watch the stream because we're about to watch.
Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. Go on. Well, I mean, isn't it fucking Uncharted? I mean, it seems like
all right, focus.
Watch twitch.tv/kindafunny games to watch the stream. Click Kevin.
It's like, hey, please go watch Uncharted. But here's the video game movie I really wish I had done instead.
Hit the watch stream thing and just.
I'm fucking watching it. I'm doing it now. There you go.
Your heart. Kevin, go ahead.
You're given a blank check to adapt any video game that you want, that you can imagine, and you can star in it, be whoever you want. What game do you pick and who do you play?
I would like to make a Jack and Daxter movie, and I would play Jack, but I would make it at A24, so it was really weird and like dark.
Live action, not like an animated movie?
Yeah, I would do like a really weird live action version of Jack and Daxter.
You're given a blank check to adapt with the scoop. Any video.
Of course, GameSpot can't scoop anything on Elden Ring, but they're there to get you this news about Jack and Daxter coming from.
I love Tom Holland. Tom Holland, what a great story. Just seems like a nice guy,
Yeah. Do you know him yet? Have you met him through your Hollywood connections?
No, he's from the same part of the world as me.
It's a big country, though.
Big country.
Well, not the entire country. I mean, we're both from the same city. I mean, it's a big city as well. But
what city? Ripshin, Hampshire, Shire. He always got some weird names over there.
Rippenhamshire or whatever.
You know what I mean, Kevin? They invent the language.
I mean, he's acting like we're joking about it.
Put all the letters in. It's cool.
No, like him. He seems like just like a genuine kid that next thing you know is, oh shit, I'm super famous now. But he's rolling with it. I like it. You gotta love it.
You should cut his hair though. It's a little bit too long right now.
Yeah, I like it. Grow it out further. Commit to it.
Gary, I'm excited to see Tom Holland cut his hair, but that's so far away. If I wanted something more immediate, where would I go?
The official list of upcoming software on each and every platform as listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show hosts each and every weekday.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's a Tottenham Hotspur fan as well, Tom Holland. So you
see right there what I'm talking about.
There you go.
Tottenham Hotspur. Come on, what are you guys
doing?
The hell
was that? The hell was that?
Why are you trying to confuse us? Simple it up. Take some stuff out. Why are you putting U's in everything? 2 L's and canceled. Get out of here. Out today. Kevin, I put in if you want to show this too. This is from Sucker Punch. Ghost of Tsushima has added an Aloy outfit. We are excited to. This is the Ghost. We are so excited for Horizon Forbidden West from our friends at Guerrilla. While we wait, today we have released a new patch for a Ghost of Tsushima director's cut that repairs a wind shrine to the north of Iki Island. Solve the puzzle there to earn an Aloy-inspired surprise. Just a nice one for you to go get some free DLC. Looks cool. I like that they're doing that kind of thing. I like the little tie-ins. Ollie World is out on all the PlayStations, all the Xboxes, Switch, and PC.
Ooh, yes.
Zorya, The Celestial Sisters is on Switch and PC. Death End Request 2 is on Switch. Sifu is out on PS5, PS4, and PC. Power to the People is on PC. Crisis Remastered has a PC patch. Dandelion's Journey is now live in Gwent, and the Love event is starting soon. Model Builder launches today for PC. New dates for you. Super Dungeon Maker is launching on Steam February 15th, and then Axis Games is going to present All Access Showcase on February 17th. That was enough for you. I got a deal of the day for you. You can play Riders Republic for free from February 10th to February 14th on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox One. Gary, we asked people watching live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames to go to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong and tell us what we screw up as we screw it up so we can set the record straight for
still doing this, are we?
on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, roosterteeth.com, podcast services around the globe. Well, when you got one like that, this needs to be said. Kebab says the plural of smoke is smoke. Thank you, Kebabs. That's all I need to know. Cam Hawkins says Xenoblade 2 came out in December 2017, not last year. Tim was probably thinking of the definitive edition, a remaster of the first game that released. And then PS Witch says, hate to be that guy, Greg, but Steph Gingrich from Life is Strange True Colors, and first introduced in Life is Strange Before the Storm, is pronounced Steph, as in Stephanie. Great show today. I don't know what I pronounced it as wrong, so I apologize for pronouncing it wrong. But that actually makes sense, because when I got there, what did I say? Did I say Steven? Did I say something? Because when I got there and I read it for some reason, I was like, Steph Gingrich. I don't know who I'm talking about there. But I know Steph, obviously, a radio DJ who I fell in love with. And did I run? You know what? I won't spoil the game for you. Everybody play Life is Strange. I don't know how many goddamn times I got to tell you to do it, you know? Drives me crazy, Gary.
Life is Strange games are good, man. And you still need to play the most recent one.
You got to do it. See, I would have ruined it for you. I don't want to ruin it for you. If you're watching live, ladies and gentlemen, the show is not ending for you. You can stay here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. Up next is the Kind of Funny Morning Show with Nick, Andy, and of course, Snow Bike Mike. If you want to catch it later, youtube.com/kindoffunnyplays. If you want more Kind of Funny Games daily, well, we got you. Go to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. We're going to do the old post show over there, me and Gary, as we do each and every episode. And then tomorrow, of course, you have Blessing hosting alongside VGC's Jordan Midler. Thursday, it's going to be me and Tim. And then Friday, it is Blessing alongside Aaron Ashley Simon to close out your week.
Did you just say Snoke Bike Mike? Because that would be a very different vibe.
I don't think I did, but I might have. You know how I am. I just say words and push.
I'd want to see that, though. I think that would be interesting.
Because you're talking about Snoke from the movies, right? The Star Wars.
Yeah, because, Mike's, so positive and, a lot of positive energy. And Snoke is, obviously kind of a...
So you're saying he's a creation of the Emperor?
Yeah, he's a clone now, right? Isn't he, or something?
I think it was a puppet. I think it was a
puppet.
I
don't know.
No,
he's a puppet?
Yeah, he put his hand in there. He put his hand in there, was controlling it.
He had his like he physically had his hand up him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, forcefully, like the Force.
Force.
Oh. Like he was using the Force.
Mm-hmm. God, this movie sucks now.
Gary,
make another
theory I've not yet been exposed to.
Go talk to the Star Wars people. Make a good one again.
Go talk to the Star Wars.
Just go tell me what. Have you told them you're interested? I feel like you haven't said to them you're interested. That would help. Because Dave Filoni was like, "Hey, I'd like to make some more stuff," and they're like, "Just do everything."
Yeah,
like,
do it. We don't care anymore.
I mean, I've always said that I'll never turn down Star Wars, but I don't like fucking call them up every week going, "Got any Star Wars for me?" If they call me and they've got something for me, great. But I don't like.
Kevin, call Scott Bromley and tell him to walk into Kathleen Kennedy's office and hand his phone to Kathleen Kennedy, and then I'll tell Kathleen Kennedy that Gary Whitta, writer of Rogue One, would like to make more Star Wars.
Call for you.
Thank you.
That's what would make the difference. Yeah. So if you,
sometimes you need an influencer to come in and influence people, and that's what I do. And if she doesn't like how we influence her there, me and Kevin show up. You know what we do, Kevin? We tip over that Yoda statue out front, and we say, "This could be
tip it over.
This could be any Yoda." All right.
I think ILM is a totally different company. Just so you know, But
to be fair, I don't know anything about where Kathleen Kennedy works. So I just feel like that's the I don't want to go out of my way to be inconvenienced to try to help Gary.
Sure.
So it's like I know where that is. We could do that. It would make our statement.
Okay.
Like,
you have to go to Burbank.
Because I don't know if you know, Kevin. These are empty threats. Like what other Yoda am I going to push over? I got Grogu right there. I'm not going to push him over. He's a sideshow collectible. I love him. You know what I mean?
All right, wrap it up.
You seen the detail on him lately, Kevin?
No, I haven't. You won't show them to me. You refuse.
Oh, well, remember we bought him for The Office.
The show is about to end. God,
we bought him for The Office, Kev. Remember this? And then there was a global pandemic, and now he just lives here.
He's so cute.
He's so cute.
I just want to kiss him.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily, youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, podcast services around the globe. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.